Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Reckless Paradise podcast. I am your host, Dystro, and it was supposed to be yesterday's or last night's episode. Lost track of time. Sorry about that. Tonight's episode is supposed to be Shoot the Shit, episode 39. Like I said, it was supposed to come out yesterday, lost track of time. That's mainly my fault. I'm super sorry. But I kind of want to get on here and just talk about a lot of stuff that has transpired within the last month or so. Um, you may be wondering why it was on a Monday. Well, like I said, lost track of time because I was watching a friend of mine's pay-per-view show that aired last night. Death from Above is on the Thriller TV Plus channel. Go subscribe to that if you haven't already. And it was a lots and lots and lots of hard work and dedication to go into this project. Um, there has been a lot of turmoil within some of the UK community within the last few weeks and stuff. But I'm not going to get into that because that's not really my expertise. It's not my cup of tea. Um, so yeah, kind of just wanted to say that that show was fire. It was fire. There was lots of twists and turns, thrills and spills, anything under the ladder, excuse me. And I kind of was just watching that, and then I looked at the time. It was like close to 10 o'clock, and I was like, well, um, I'm not gonna try to do a pod at 10 o'clock at night to um say, like, yeah, like, this is going on an hour long or however long spiel, to just be like, yeah, this show was awesome and all this stuff. So I figured, why not just wait, save it for tonight, when the show is coming out, and, just kind of just talk about it. um, I do want to address it a little bit of elephant in the room thing. If you've followed on social media within the last few weeks as well, we have lost two people in the music and acting world within like a few weeks of each other. The first one is a big, huge one. We lost Brad Arnold from Three Doors Down a few weeks ago. And I think the Three Doors Down band as a whole, like, is going to be a seismic shift, I think, without Brad in the group. I mean, nobody can replace Brad Arnold if they even could try. Um, so with that being said, I really don't know what's gonna happen with Three Doors Down. I'm pretty sure like they'll try to find like a replacement for Brad. But it's gonna be hard to fill those shoes of Brad Arnold. And I mean, I wish the band the best of luck in their future endeavors, because it is gonna be kind of tough without Brad. Um, the other death that had happened not too long ago was James Vanderbeek of Dawson's Creek. And that one I really didn't really know much of him about. I mean, he's a very well known actor, TV actor, um, and he was only 50 something, maybe mid 50s, mid 50s, which is sad to see him go. Such a kind of a relatively young age. I know that's not really young, but that's crazy to like hear that somebody that's like, early 50s, maybe mid 50s, and they're just gone. Um, so to, to their family, to their friends, and, fellow actors and musicians of their kind, we at the Reckless Paradise kind of pay condolences to their, friends, family, and just, they will be missed. So, um, kind of getting back on a little lighter note here, um, I kind of wanted to talk about the, um, seismic shift, I guess, in my gaming YouTube channel over the last 2 months. Um, Within January, we had hit 1,600 subscribers, which, like I said, in December, it was kind of like one of those things where it's like, if it happens, it happens in December. If it doesn't, it doesn't. That's okay. And I think it was like within 2 weeks, maybe so, um, in January, I hit 1,600, and I was continuing to skyrocket from there. And then within, I think like the first 2 days, maybe 3 days of February, I had reached 1,700 subscribers, and that was a crazy like shock to me. I'm actually kind of thinking that like some of the content that I had put out within the last 2 months. Some of it maybe not reaching y'all or something, or if you're not subscribed, if you are subscribed, like that's cool. But like the two in particular, the Stone Cold Steve Austin core and the Jericho core, that kind of made some huge numbers. And then the Shawn Michaels super kick meme clip that I had put on my channel too that did some huge numbers too. And that's what got me to 1,600 and beyond at that point. Um, and I can't thank you guys enough for those 1,700 subscribers. We are currently, I think at the time of recording, I think we're at 1,760, almost 1,770 right now, which is freaking crazy. Um, and like I said, I can't thank you guys enough for all of that. Going into March, kind of hopefully maybe making to the 1,800, but it's one of those like waiting games. It's like it's up in the air. But you gotta be optimistic. You gotta be optimistic in this field of expertise. And it just hopefully it just goes up from there. Um, but going into more wrestling related stuff here. I did watch both nights of the GCW JCW Jersey J Cup, and I did watch the Revolver Cross Hour show. Both shows were good in their own right. There was like a huge twist or heel turn, I should say, that I didn't expect at that Revolver show. Brent Oakley turning heel and doing the chair shot heard around the world spot that the Shield did back in 2014. Which I'm actually kind of interested on like what's gonna happen with Brent, and then the heel turn of Crash Jackson as well, with Joe Alonzo Jr. and Brent Oakley. Um, I'm actually kind of intrigued to see how it will go, because I know this is Joe's new group, and it's also kind of interesting to like see how Brent's gonna break out into a singles guy. within Joe's new group. And what's next for the Alpha Sig boys, you know? I know we're gonna get Brandon versus Joe at some point in the future in Revolver. Um, which that's gonna be a pretty entertaining matchup there. Um, and I can't wait to see it. um, and then with the Jersey J Cup show, Billy Stark's going into it as the JCW World Champion, kind of almost walking out of night two with the W, but Charles Mason is your new JCW World Champion. Um, I'm actually kind of interested on like how that's gonna go. Um, because I think this is like his second, third time with the belt. And I mean, Billy Starks didn't. Hell, she didn't hold on to that belt for very long. Which I mean, that's kind of sad. Um, but the Jersey Jacob as a whole was actually kind of interesting. Compared to last year. Um, the time limit draw between Jordan Oliver and Al Price kind of soured the crowd a little bit because they wanted 5 more minutes. And then Sinner and Saint, Travis Williams and Judas Icarus came out and attacked him, and they had went on to a match, tag team title match on night two, which was like a really really good banger. But the crowd ended up going home happy at the end of night one. Because of the steel cage match between Mad Dog Connolly and one called Manders, um, which that was like a lot of good backy forthy. It was like a really really good steel cage match of the modern era. Because like I think within the first 5 minutes, the steel cage door like you would open and close and all stuff, it broke off, which is like that's crazy. And then my my CAW inspired character, Chris Chambers, was based off of KJ Orso, um, which I was actually kind of glad that he got some good matches in the the Jersey J Cup, if I could speak today, in the Jersey J Cup, and I was hoping and begging that he would have kind of won the whole thing, but you can't. You win some, you lose some. In that sort of area there. I know it's only a matter of time before they put the world title, the GCW world title on KJ or so momentarily. Um, but it's a win-lose scenario there. Um, because it's like it's his time is coming, but he's got other belts that he's staked claim to in other promotions. So that's for another time, for another era there. Um, going into let's see, going into I guess 2K is kind of news here. 2K26 has some promise here. I'm still kind of setting my expectations low so then I can be, wowed out of them. Um, as of right now, we've seen some gameplay for 2K26, which is, it's not much. I mean, we've seen some of the Infernal match stuff, we've seen some of the, like the trailer gameplay, like we're in the junkyard or something. That looks cool. um, I know we've seen some people getting introduced within 2K26. Some new faces, old faces. Um, I know there's like 3 pre-order things that you can do. Even though you can basically just get the basic game and you could just buy the other stuff later. Or probably just get it in game, whatever. Um, and I think it's just funny that Triple H is on all 3 of the covers. Um, even though like some of them is like okay, like we get it, you're the COO of the company, but you don't really need to put yourself on all the covers, you know. Um, but I just gotta have my expectations low, so then I can just set myself up for bigger expectations here. I know like in a few weeks' time in March, the game is going to be coming out. I would rather have somebody like tell me how it plays than me trying to play it and then it's like, oh shit, well it kind of sucks and then you don't get your money back, you know. Um, I know my boy, my friend, Pepsi. He's gonna try to get it. But I know there's like some other games that are on Xbox that I'm actually looking forward to too. Um, which is Resident Evil. There's like Resident Evil. There's a game that is from the company that made Until Dawn. Um, that's coming out as well. Like I know there's a Halloween game coming out this year. I think there's a Friday the 13th like revamped game coming out this year too. Like there's some good horror games coming out this year, and I can't wait to play them. I mean, speaking of Resident Evil, I've been kind of trying to get back into Resident Evil. Because I just beat, well, not too long ago. Um, if you can recall, a few shoot the shit episodes ago, I had beaten Resident Evil 2 on the Leon side. I haven't played the Claire side. I mean, I played the Claire side, but I just didn't finish it. And then most recently, not too long ago, I just beat Resident Evil 7. I have Resident Evil 8 on my Xbox console. Um, which that's gonna be a hoot and a half. But I want to try to go back and like play some of the Resident Evil 4, 5, and 6 to kind of lead up to 7. Um, but then I kind of want to play Resident Evil 2 all over again, and also 3. I have 3. So it's gonna be kind of interesting, like how much I can get done before Resident Evil 9 comes out. I mean, I'll still play the hell out of it to just to play the hell out of it. Um, yeah, that's some like gaming news that's done right there. Um, so talking about like GCW stuff again here. Um, we have the collective coming up, and there has been some promising shows that are on the collective. But there is one match in particular during one of the shows during that weekend that I kind of wanted to talk about. It is Joe Janela Spring Break 10, and it is the final match of the Sandman. And you would think, maybe it was going to be Joe Janela versus Sandman, which that'd be a crazy match. But it is Sandman versus Invisible Man. And I really don't know how to kind of feel about that. I mean, it's Sandman's last match, and you would think maybe the guy that's on the poster of the whole thing, like Joe Janela, would put away another ECW legend. Um, but I am kind of intrigued on how it will go between Sandman and Invisible Man. Um, Also on that show, it is going to be Hayabusa. Not FMW Hayabusa from yesteryear because he has passed away. Somebody has taken over the Hayabusa moniker and gimmick, and is like doing wonderful things with it. Like even moves like Hayabusa, acts like Hayabusa, and does his own moves like Hayabusa. And I'm thinking that's what Joey's gonna be doing against Hayabusa, the new Hayabusa. Um, but we will have to wait and see. As it is 2 months away, less than 2 months away, and there has been, I think, the one match announced. Um, Um, I know within GCW lore, there has been some inner turmoil between Iffy and Alley Catch within the last few weeks or so. I'm thinking it's either gonna take off at either Spring Break 10 or they're gonna do their match at Big Gay Brunch for Effie's Big Gay Brunch. I really don't know. Um, But it's going to be interesting nonetheless because, they're going to be, duking it out. And plus the inner turmoil of Effie is like really, really, really good right now. But I don't know, like it's going to be kind of interesting. Um, I know like Marco Stunt's retiring, too. It's just like there's like a lot of stuff going on. And, we gotta be all here for it, So, talking about, um, you know, keeping it pro wrestling here. I know we've been talking about a lot of pro wrestling. I know, sorry. Um, Somebody that I did not know, that has left, that his contract's already up at this point. It is Mr. Tommaso Ciampa. Um, He had left the company a few weeks ago, and he had showed up in AEW, first night on Collision, and he beat Mark Briscoe for the TNT belt. And then, not even 2 weeks later, he loses the belt to Kyle Fletcher. I really don't know how I would feel about that. It sucks that Ciampa was a transitional champion for Kyle Fletcher. Um, I would have like this is just me booking here, but I would have just done like a time limit draw between Champa and Fletcher, and Mark comes out being like, well, like it's not gonna end like that, like and I would have just put Champa, Fletcher, and Mark Briscoe in a ladder match at Grand Slam Australia, because it would have given Kyle like a big hometown win there. Um, but I mean, Ciampa winning the belt right off the rip, and then kind of holding it until Kyle won it. I mean, it looks good for Kyle because he's like a 2 or 3 time TNT champ. But it kind of makes Ciampa kind of, I don't know, makes it to me it makes him feel weak. Because he just lost it that quick. Um, but they've done that with D&T title before, and it kind of makes the other person kind of maybe put them in that upper echelon, maybe upper main event, maybe upper mid card or something. Um, but I don't know. It's just I guess we'll just have to wait and see how it plays out with Champa in due time, I guess. But yeah, that's just it was just like a little nitpick nitpick for me to just kind of talk about there. It's like I don't know. It's just like if you want to hold the title, it's like you better have like a good 2 or 3 month, like 4 month reign with it, and then you can drop it. Um, but I guess it's like one of those things where it's like they didn't really want Champa to win in Australia. They just wanted to feel good like homeboy win within Australia. But to that I say kudos to you, Kyle Fletcher. Um, Sticking with more wrestling here. I know, sorry. 2K, EFED Promotions. I am going to be promoting Death Wish, Havoc, Supremacy Wrestling, um, EXW, any EFED promotion out there that is, kind of like making their name well known or something. Just kind of being like, we're going out there. But if you go on Thriller TV Plus, you'll see the F Wish show on there. You'll see Three Crowns Wrestling on there. You'll see the Death Wish or the Havoc Pro Wrestling show. I can't feel my face on there. And we're growing strong at this current moment at this time. And there's a lot of people that is wondering like why did some of this kind of not go the way it would. It's just because things happen. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Um, but yeah, like go subscribe to the Thrill TV Plus channel. There's gonna be lots of good stuff going on that channel in the next few months. So go check that out. um Speaking of which, we've had the Atlas Paradox from 3CW on the Thriller TV Plus channel. Death from Above that just aired last night. And we've also got like some upcoming shows for Havoc Pro and Supremacy and 3CW and all that stuff. With 3CW, Three Crowns, we've got Northern Kingdom 1, which is our basically our WrestleMania. Um, and there's only been one match announced so far, but there's going to be a whole bunch of action on that card. And I highly suggest you come and check that out for yourself because then maybe you'll be like, oh shit, like, this thing is actually kind of cool, There's stuff in the works for Death Wish that I know of. I know there is another Supremacy Wrestling show coming up next month, the International Kerfuffle, and that's going to be a huge, huge show for y'all to come out and watch. I know with Havoc Pro, we are still, trucking along, trying to make sure um, things go the way that the management wants to. I can't speak on that because I'm just roster member. But I know I have it on good authority that Max, the head honcho over it, he's kind of got some stuff planned in his mind that will see the light of day, eventually. But for now, we just gotta keep trucking along and just kind of keep on moving. Um, but yeah, that was actually a really cool show from Death Wish last night. I would go seek that out if you haven't already. From one creative mind, on that show. Um, Going back to AEW. I know a little segue here. Going back to AEW. We've had some huge names from TNA on the AEW roster. Originally it was supposed to be Zachary Wentz, Desmond Xavier, Trey Miguel, and Myron Reed. Myron Reed. And sadly, Miguel was not part of that due to WB kind of being like, no, no, we don't want them because of some Twitter stuff. Um, but with that being said, it's actually kind of crazy that Zachary Wentz, Desmond Xavier, and Myron Reed are all elite. And it's actually kind of cool to see them in a good company that will actually like let them go do whatever they want to do. Um, it's I think it's just bittersweet for them because I know their TNA contracts were coming up, and it was just kind of like, well, like what the hell, like where are they gonna go? Um, and I'm actually kind of glad that AEW picked them up and just kind of been like, hey, we'll take care of you, you know. Um, but I'm actually kind of intrigued, like how it's gonna go with all three of them there. I don't know who's gonna be the TNT title guy. I don't know who's gonna be the tag team. If I would say, I would say maybe Winston and Dez would be the tag team, and Myron could be the singles guy, or yeah, it would just be either all three of them. I don't really know. Um, but I think the overarching development, I think, for that is because like no matter what they choose, all three of them could be singles guys. No doubt about that. Um, but I think it was just going to be a matter of time before one of them goes to the world title picture. Um, I mean, speaking of like Revolver and all stuff, like Myron Reed's world title run, um, was like phenomenal, and it's actually kind of crazy that he's held it for over a year at this point. Because Cruel, Mads Kruger, um, he is now the new Revolver World Heavyweight Champion on that show. And I don't know who's gonna take it from him at this point. Um, it's gonna be very, very interesting to see how it will all play out with Mads Kruger. But talking about Revolver and sticking with Revolver here, the main event was Killer Cross versus Bear Bronson. And a few months ago, or I think it was sometime last month, I think, um, I had put out a tweet about the NGI 10 that I went to, and I was saying like like if you looked on Hardcam, you would see this like tall son of a bitch, like getting up from his chair and all that stuff, and I had said like I was actually kind of glad that I saw Bear Bronson live, and actually saw him winning the whole fucking thing. And then doing so, Bear Bronson had followed me back on Twitter. Which is super surreal. And I did not expect him to follow me back. I was like, okay, well, if it happens, it happens, whatever. Um, but like, that's so crazy. Like that's the second pro wrestler that's ever followed me back. Like, because the first one was Karrion Cross, and then or Killer Cross, I should say, and then the second one is Bear Bronson. So it was kind of like super surreal. I could not have wished for a better, um, I guess, Twitter space, if you want to call it that. Um, but I'm actually just kind of like just giddy. I'm just giddy that Bear Bronson followed me back. It's like one of those things where it's just like, what the hell is happening right now? Um, but I kind of wanted to end this whole thing with well, second thing. The first thing is I wanted to shout out Evie. I know you probably don't watch the podcast or anything, but I will shout you out because you are a dope content creator. And I hope you will go on to make more dope things in wrestling. And just big hearts to you. But the final thing is that Joe Hendry is the NXT World Heavyweight Champion. Um, I think it's been a long time kind of coming, because, Joe Hendry would pop up here and there as soon as you say his name and all stuff like, I believe in Joe Hendry, and just kind of, like it's crazy that he went from TNA World Champion and then they kind of dropped the ball with him as TNA World Champion. Like he just didn't really reach that upper echelon again. And then like they slide him into the NXT thing, and he's got super over. He's still super over. And it's actually kind of cool. It's kind of cool to see him as NXT World Champion. Um, and I really don't know how they're gonna go with it. Um, I would think they would, give him some good challengers. I mean, like the first person that comes to mind is probably Ricky Saints at this point. Um, and I just hope that they give him a good title reign with it, because I don't really want to see another transitional champion in wrestling. Just to put the belt on Ricky Saints of all people. Um, but I mean, Joe Henry as champion, so you got some pretty good contenders within the NXT men's division. Like you have Jasper Troy, you have Ricky Saints, you have um maybe potentially Josh Briggs if you can get him out of the tag team, I guess. Sean Spears, you have oh God, you have like some good, I guess, NXT talent in there. You could also do Ethan versus Joe Hendry at some point, to get him out of the North American title picture. Um, but I mean, like, who's to say like what's gonna happen with that? Because like sky's the limit here. Um, yeah. I think it's a good idea to have Joe Henry as champion. Because it's a new, I guess, breath of fresh air. Because Oba Femi's left, Rick Williams has left, Javon Evans has left, so you got to have some new blood to the mainstream of NXT here, to keep it afloat. Um, and plus, like, it's only a matter of time before some of those uh women in the NXT division goes up to the main roster too. Um, So yeah, this was a very interesting, not very long. It's like over 30 something minutes, um, of Shoot the Shit, episode 39 here. But I really do really appreciate you guys, for coming on this journey with me, talking about all the stuff that I actually love to talk about. Um, and this is still gonna keep going strong. Um, but before I, keep rambling on here, I know some days, I kind of lose track of time. Like I said at the beginning of the thing, it's only because like there's so much time that I can do stuff within a day. Because of between work and trying to do the pod and trying to keep the social life and all that stuff. But I really want to thank you guys for trusting in me, and Marissa trusting in me too, to keep this channel, alive, for as long as possible. Um, but before make it to the very end, I also kind of wanted to shout out Marissa as well. Um, for her trusting in me, and for her giving me the reins to just, keep this train a moving. Um, without her, I don't think I would be doing this podcast. I don't think I would be doing a podcast at all, without her. And, I just hope that this partnership between her and I will still keep going. I know it'll still keep going, because we've been cohorts, friends, for 5 years now, which is a testament to us, to be honest with you. Um, but if you made it to the very end of this video, we do really appreciate it. And if you have wanted to follow us on all social media, in the link in the description below, the link tree is in the description below. This will take you to our Instagram pages, Twitter pages, the podcast Reddit pages on there. My gaming YouTube channel is on there, like I said. I think I'm at 1760 something right now. Um, which is pretty good. Hopefully to make it by 1800 by the end of February. If not, that's cool. We have the rest of the year to get through. Um, And tonight's song of the night, it is going to be a Three Doors Down song, and it is called Loser. No, not the Beck song. There is a Beck song called Loser, but the Three Doors Down version is Loser by Three Doors Down. And I know there is a music video for it. There is one. And yeah, that is it. And I will see you guys this Thursday. Peace.